We're not. I see it. I see it. I like it though. I like it.
Hey, if you look over my right shoulder, it's perfectly placed for Howard. You see the Cowboys hat, my new Cowboys hat?
No, wait a minute. No.
Look, right over my right shoulder.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, do it. I can't wait. That made my day. Good. Do it. Do it. See if he noticed it. Okay, I guess they're going to take us off as mute soon. Am I correct?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to hang up in case they come on. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Mrs. McCoy. Can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Are we all on?
Yeah, read to my
Yes, I'm on. I have I was able to unmute myself. Mr. Shaw jumped. Ms. Dredden had asked me to have you read the Operations Committee meeting minutes. However, I didn't get to prepare them. So if you just want to say that we met yesterday and minutes will be coming.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, we can.
Okay.
How are
John,
you?
you look a little puzzled. I'm looking at John's face.
Right. Can you hear?
I don't think you can hear. Can you hear?
I don't know. Howard just bumped him.
Did it?
Let me try.
John,
Scott.
can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
You can hear.
This boy was talking to you.
No, I didn't hear her. I had to do something with my phone to get the sound back.
Okay, Ms. Dredden had asked me to ask you to read the minutes to the Operation Committee, but
Okay.
I wasn't able to prepare them. So if you just want to say that we met last night and the minutes will be prepared and read out at the next meeting.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Man, I have something for Howard in my background. I'm surprised he hasn't seen it yet.
I'm telling you, I need him to see it.
You don't see it yet.
I gotta get this. I can get to.
I love it.
Oh crap! No, I got. Oh,
See?
oh. You're messing with me. Hold on, Mr. Shaw. Let me see.
Can't.
Can't get him. I'm trying to get him in a different format. I see a light. I see a air vent.
Make sure he sees it.
I see
All he's got to do is look right by between my ear and my right shoulder.
ear in your right shoulder.
Mhm.
Howard, can you hear me?
There's something back there on that table.
Uh-huh.
I can't make it out because you're too small.
Oh,
I
it's
Yeah,
got-
not bright as this day is in Dallas.
I love it. That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy.
I hate both of you.
I can't see.
And you know who you are.
He's talking about Miss McClendon.
I'm Miss McClendon.
I got my brand new CD Lamb jersey, my brand new Cowboys hat.
Oh no, not CD Lamb. Where do I get a guy by the name of Quez Watkins who's going to get more yards than him?
Mm-hmm.
CD Lamb.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Martin.
Oh,
Mr. Scott,
yes.
are you running the meeting?
No.
Well, Mr.
Mike Aponte, Mike Falciani.
Well, all right, Aponte's not answering. Well,
Miss Doyle, do we have the picture?
Looks like we're losing Miss Boyle for a second.
Yeah, she's spinning up.
Yeah.
Boy, you got that slow modem thing going. Miss Moore, did you find your way here?
her invitation, can you send it again?
I sent it. I know she had not gotten it, but I flipped it to her and she acknowledged she received it. So I suppose she's working her way.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Miss Peterson?
We're going to start?
No, there's a correction
Yes.
on page 13, personnel.
13 personnel.
3C.
Okay. Are we tabling that?
No. The effective date should be 8. All right, I'm going to hang up.
Okay.
All right. It's 8/31/21.
8/31. Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be that one correction.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Dr. Poteet joining us?
He should.
I don't see him on the call.
Can someone check? Mr. Long, can you check?
I'll make a call.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Because I have 6:30. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get started. Thank you so much. Good evening. Welcome to Winslow Township Board of Education, regular Board of Education meeting. I welcome everyone here tonight, the last Tuesday of August. Soon we will be back in school in September, so welcome. Public notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates, and a meeting dated 2/01/21. Adequate and electronic notice of this public meeting has been provided, specifically the time, place, and manner in which this meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration building, the municipal building, the library, McDougal Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township post offices. Mr. Shaw, will you read our mission statement?
Yes, Madam Vice President. Mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and caring and confident members of their community. The district, in partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, will provide an academic environment which values excellence and diversity, encourages students to strive for personal excellence, and assists them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to a rapidly changing world.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Roll call. I will do the roll call. Mr. Blake will be a few minutes late. Ms. Dredden? Ms. Martin?
Present.
Ms. McClendon?
Present.
Ms. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Present.
Ms. Thomas?
Present.
Ms. Pitts is recuperating, so she will not be with us. And Julie Peterson, present. May we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To
to
the
the
flag
flag of the United
United
States
States
of America.
of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty,
and justice for all.
justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Moore, will you read the district goals?
Yes. 2020-2021 district goals. 1, student achievement. Continue to implement best practices for delivering instruction to students, utilizing all available and appropriate instructional modes. This shall include A, ensuring articulation at all grade levels throughout the district. B, focus on classroom instruction at all grade levels. C, ensuring all students have equal access to equipment and resources needed to facilitate and promote student learning in any setting. D, evaluation and updating all district programs. E, accountability of all district staff. 2, continue to foster a positive school environment that is conducive to teaching and learning. A, focus on building relationships among staff that will result in increased learning and more effective instruction. B, promote creative instruction, training, and retraining. C, emphasis on collaboration with all district stakeholders. D, promote cultural competence throughout district. E, teacher-to-student relationships. F, student-to-student relationships. 3, market our strengths and achievements to all stakeholders to increase capacity for greater parent, caregiver, community support. A, continue with our public relations / marketing plan. B, continue to work with various advisory committees in the district. And C, examine communication methods utilized by district.
Thank you, Mrs. Moore.
You're welcome.
Tonight, we are pausing to recognize the legacy of Mrs. Karen Lonnie, Director of Curriculum for the district. Mrs. Lonnie's affiliation with our school district spans nearly 35 years, both as Edgewood Lower Camden County Regional School District and the Winslow Township School District. Ms. McClendon will share her accomplishments that were penned in the posting on Facebook in March of 2021.
Miss Karen Lonnie, it is with a great sense of loss that we inform you of the passing of one of our district administrators, Miss Karen Lonnie. Miss Lonnie was an administrator with unflagging zeal and dedication. She was a caring, faithful, and dedicated leader in the district for nearly 35 years, who held several certifications: teacher, principal, and superintendent. Her career began as a 7th grade substitute English teacher, which was then Edgewood Junior High School in the Lower Camden County Regional School District. Miss Lonnie went on to teach at Overbrook Senior High School and ended her teaching career at Winslow Township High School. While at Winslow High School, Miss Lonnie was assigned the dual responsibility of teaching and working on cultural and equity issues. She was also tasked with working with the alternative school program, Project Excel. This was only the beginning of her impact on students. In 2004, she was called upon to serve as assistant principal of school number 6. Upon her arrival at the school, she knew that this assignment would be a challenging one. However, she accepted the position. With the support of the principal, parents, and community, she was able to provide the direction needed to improve the quality of instruction for students and provide the guidance and professional training to develop stronger teachers. In 2009, Ms. Lonnie was given the opportunity to move up to the district level. She became the first district supervisor of English language arts and director of research, planning, and evaluation, a position that focused on grant administration. She was the liaison between the district and the New Jersey Department of Education. Presently, Ms. Lonnie served as the Director of Curriculum, whereas she supervised the Mathematics and English Language Arts supervisors, planned and coordinated district professional development activities for staff and administrators, implemented and secured resources for after-school tutorial programs, developed state and federal grants, and was the overseer of the district curricular and preschool program. She was committed to education. Miss Lonnie believed that if she could help somebody, then her living would not be in vain. She touched the hearts and minds of countless students, parents, staff, and colleagues with her kind spirit. Her passing will leave a void not only in our district, but in our hearts. Our deepest condolences are extended to family, friends, and loved ones of Miss Karen Irene Lonnie. She will be gone, but never forgotten. Her contributions and achievements, especially the impact on the lives of our students, will last a lifetime. She will be dearly missed. Thank you.
Please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on the contributions of Miss Lonnie made to our school district and also the Winslow Township community, which she was a part of. The footprints of Miss Lonnie are found in the legacy messages and actions she has left. And for this, our district is eternally grateful. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Blake. We noticed that Mr. Blake has arrived. Thank you so much. Awards and presentations.
There are no presentations this evening, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. T. Correspondence.
We have no correspondence this evening.
Thank you. I entertain a motion for approval of the following meeting minutes of the Board of Education. Regular meeting, August the 11th, 2021, open session.
Ms. McClendon moved that we accept the regular meeting minutes with any necessary corrections.
Shaw, second.
It's been properly moved by Ms. McClendon and second by Mr. Shaw. Roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Abstain.
Ms. McClendon is absent. Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
and Ms. Peterson.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you. Board committee reports. Athletic committee.
None at this time, but we will be scheduling a meeting for the third Thursday in September.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Policy committee.
No meeting, no minutes at the moment. The next policy meeting is September 23rd, 2021 at 4 p.m. in person.
Thank you. Marketing committee.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to have a problem with that. So I will contact the policy committee because I don't get off work till 5. So I'll let you know about that.
Thank you. Duly noted. Marketing committee. And
Yes,
everyone
Madam
should
Vice
receive it.
President. So the marketing committee met yesterday, August 24th. Meeting was called to order at 5:04 p.m. We actually had an in-person meeting. Attendees were Mr. Blake, Mr. Davis, Ms. Moore, and Ms. McClendon. So first of all, we recapped our meeting minutes from August the 10th, just to go over what was in discussion previously. And then we moved into our unfinished business, which you know is the 20th anniversary. So again, just for those who may be watching for the first time, we will be having the 20th anniversary when Edgewood became Winslow. And the dates of homecoming will be October 15th and 16th. The Saturday celebration will begin from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mr. Blake has started receiving some of our vendor applications, so we are still waiting for more to come in. We will follow up, do follow-up calls this week to touch base with those vendors that confirmed but haven't submitted their vendor application yet. Mr. Davis is working with our choir director for our 3-song selections that will be happening on that day. Ms. Moore is working with our band and will reach out to alumni who contacted us wanting to participate in this celebration. As we move further in the committee minutes, we broke down the timeline of events. So just to give the board and the community an idea of some of the things that we will have on that Saturday, we will kick off with our parade. We're going to have a big Winslow parade, and that will begin at our Winslow Middle School and go over to our our Winslow High School. Also, we will have high school tours. We will have 3 of them throughout the day of the celebration. Hopefully those who haven't been in the high school for a while to see any of the new renovations, the changes to the high school, especially our Edgewood alumni who will be there. Definitely, we will have 3 opportunities for you to tour the facility. We will also have flag football. We also have a co-ed softball game. We will have kickball, tug of war, and lastly, we will have a live Zumba. So for everyone who are Zumba fans, definitely you should have a day of full event so that, you know, if you choose to participate, in which we hope that we would get a lot of participation, because this day is a celebration, a unity day, and we would like for all to come and just have a great time. We are looking for facilitators for the activities. So if anybody is interested in facilitating any of these activities that I just mentioned, please submit an email to myself or Ms. Moore. We are actually keeping a track of those who would like to participate on that day. So facilitators are needed. Board members, there were some questions at the last meeting regarding the Winslow Edgewood logo for the T-shirts. So we are good to go. Mr. Long, I don't know if you want to jump in on this part as we're talking about this right now under my meeting minutes to just share some additional stuff with the committee.
Sure. I recall last time that we didn't have an opportunity to discuss this with Mrs. Boyle. I expressed some issues and concerns. I was since able to learn some further information. A number of vendors were solicited. This technically isn't fundraising on behalf of the school, but vendors are coming and they're appropriately licensed to be there with the fire inspector. So they're following the proper regulations. One of the it's not the logo for the school, so there's no concerns about that. The shirts are being done at a discount for the benefit of those who wish to purchase them. I didn't see any school contract law issues associated with it. I spoke, as I indicated, I did speak with Mrs. Boyle about it, and subsequently spoke with Ms. McClendon about it because I know she had a meeting yesterday. So, or today, right? Was it yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. And I just wanted to make sure she had the information available. So, I think we're good to go. From a legal point of view, I didn't have any issues that caused me concern.
Thank you, Mr. Long. We also had a conversation about the Real Talk with the superintendent. So our next Real Talk will be September 20th, and I'm sure Dr. Poteet will touch more on that. But what the committee wanted to do was propose for the next Real Talk to be with our Winslow students. And so I've had a chance to talk to Dr. Poteet regarding that. And so come September 20th, that's what the next Real Talk will be geared to. So our Winslow students would be invited for that call. Lastly, Facebook. What the marketing team wants to do, since it's going to be the beginning of the new school year, we want to welcome and highlight our new teachers and administration to Winslow Township School District. So as always, keep your eyes on our Facebook page, like us. If you're not following us now, please follow us because we will be sharing some additional information regarding homecoming. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 14th at 5:00 p.m. and it will most likely be in person. And our meeting was adjourned at 6:17 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McClendon. I appreciate that report. Very extensive.
Thank you.
Education Committee does not have a report, but will be meeting at 4 p.m. the third Tuesday in September. Ad hoc Citizens Advisory.
No minutes. Meeting is scheduled for next Thursday, September 2nd at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Superintendent's report. I entertain a motion for approval of the superintendent's report that goes from page 2 to page 5 in the middle.
McClendon moves that we accept the superintendent's report with any necessary corrections.
Shaw second.
It's been properly moved by Ms. McClendon and second by Mr. Shaw for approval of the superintendent's report with any necessary corrections. Roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
and Ms. Peterson.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you. I entertain a motion for approval of the business administrator board secretary's report found at the top of page 6 and goes to the middle of page 12.
McClendon moved that we accept the business administrator's board secretary report with any necessary corrections.
Shaw second.
It's been properly moved and second, moved by Ms. McClendon, second by Mr. Shaw, that we accept the business administrator board secretary's report. Roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, Ms. Thomas,
Did we lose her? Did you lose
She's
me?
saying yes. We didn't hear her, but she's
Okay.
muted. Ms. Thomas, you're muted. There you
Can
go.
you hear me? I'm sorry.
yes,
Yes.
thank you. And Ms. Peterson.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you so much. I
Ms.
entertain,
Peterson, I
yes,
just wanted to ask a question about the use of facilities. That was number 9 on page 7. The one for the middle school, September 10th to 11th, is that for the uniform swap? Does anybody know?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
You're
okay,
Madam Vice President,
yes,
before you proceed, can I identify a point of clarification needed on the
Yes.
personnel report being recommended by the superintendent? On page 13, item A3, resignations,
yes.
D, the effective date, instead of 10/8/21, should read 8/31 of 2021.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. I entertain a motion.
I'm
for-
sorry, Ms. Peterson. I think that was the wrong one. Mr. Long, are you talking about the resignation for Catherine Rosenberg?
Yes,
The correct date should be effective August 31st of 2021.
What did I say?
You
I
didn't say
thought you
August
said
31st.
8:31.
Oh, Mr. Davis, was that C or D are we talking
It's
about?
letter C,
See.
Catherine
so
Rosenberg.
I did a double mistake on here.
Yep.
Sorry, Madam President. D is unchanged, but C is from August 18th, 2021 to August 31st, 2021. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I apologize.
duly noted. I entertain a motion for approval of the personnel report found on page 13 and goes to the end of page 15 with the correction on page 13, resignation. Number 3, item C, effective date, August the 31st, 2021.
McClendon moved that we accept the personnel report with the necessary corrections.
Shaw second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the personnel report found on page 13. Make sure. Page 13 through 15 with the correction as noted. Roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you very much. Addendum, everyone should have received a copy via email, the board email, or at their door. Has everyone received a copy?
Yes.
Yes.
Has everyone had an opportunity to review it? Thank you so much. I entertain a motion for approval of the personnel report. Number 1, item 1, A, 1 through 3.
McClendon moved that we accept the addendum personnel report with any necessary corrections.
Shaw, second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept the personnel report on the addendum. A roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
and Ms. Peterson.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you. Open Public Records Act, Oprah request.
Yes, Madam Vice President, we received 2 requests between the dates of August 6th and August 19th, which we responded to. One from Marcia D. Bow from Virtua Rehab School Services. She wanted information as regards to the RFPs from the May 19th, 2021 board meeting. She wanted information regarding physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Those requests were granted. Number 2, Mr. Joe Sutton requested a digital copy of the following provider contracts: the current website or content management system that was approved and supplied, the current alert and/or emergency notification that was supplied, current mobile app. We don't have a separate contract, it didn't exist, and the current learning management system. We requested additional information. And that concludes the Oprah request.
Thank you, Mrs. McCoy. Old business. The only old business is Mrs. McClendon and I discussed, and the marketing committee with the operations committee will be meeting for the Double Good Popcorn fundraiser as a district-wide fundraising event. So that was discussed, and she's moving forward to meeting with the 2 groups. Any other additional old business items? Seeing none. New business. Seeing none. Informational items. Dr. Puti.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board and community. I have several information items this evening. Many of them are pretty much updates, information that parents need to know prior to the opening of school. But I'd like to begin, of course, with the COVID-19 updates. As of today, Camden County had 110 positive confirmed cases. 19 of that 110 was under the age of 18. The average age of those 110 was 32 years old. Based on those numbers, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that our positive COVID cases are getting younger and younger every week. Winslow Township had 9 positive confirmed cases today. I'd like to start with the additional items. In addition to the mask mandate by the governor, which we received earlier last week, he is also now mandating that all school district personnel must be fully vaccinated by October the 18th, 2021. All unvaccinated personnel must undergo regular testing at a minimum of once or twice each week starting October the 18th. Some additional information that was not necessarily spelled out in the mandate, and that is what tests would be acceptable under those guidelines and who would be responsible for the testing of staff. So we'll probably get more information prior to October the 18th, but that information is there, and it has also been shared with our staff. Number 2, Students must wear a mask before boarding all school buses. And I want the community and everyone to know that 99% of everything we did last year in terms of health and safety is exactly the same as it will be this year. There have been very, very few changes. We had a mask mandate last year. We will continue with a mask mandate this year. But I want to emphasize to the parents that that mask mandate specifically begins at the bus stop. We're asking all parents to please support us and make sure that when their child arrives at the bus stop, that their child is in a mask. We will not allow students to continuously get on our school buses without a mask. An infected person, of course, can infect everyone on that bus. And by the time the bus arrives at the school and those youngsters disperse, you have the tendency to infect everyone in that school building. We do not want to put this or make this a burden for the bus drivers where they have to continuously monitor this every single day. So we're asking for the parents to support us in making sure that their children arrive at the bus stop in a mask so that we can create a safe environment on those buses from the very beginning. I have continued and will continue to make revisions to the Safe Return Plan. If you go to our website now, you will see that the revisions are in red. And as you know, that is a working document and changes will be continuously made as we continue to get updates from our governor or the New Jersey Department of Health. So those changes will continue to occur. A reminder to all parents, in addition to those young people who have selected to be vaccinated for the COVID-19 virus, we want to remind parents that other immunizations are just as important. The same requirements that we've always had in the past. All children's immunizations must be updated before students return to school. Those health records, of course, will be monitored by the school nurses. All the parents at this point know about the immunizations. There's a tendency, we were reporting out last year continuously to remind parents because according to the medical profession, many of those immunizations sort of slowed down during the pandemic. So we've been trying to remind parents throughout the course of the year to make sure that their children are immunized. The Winslow Township School District will continue to provide childcare. Before and after school program is now available at our elementary schools. Those slots are filling up fast. So if there are any parents out there who wish to participate in our before and after school programs, we're encouraging you to please sign up as soon as possible. The school district will be giving away supplies and book bags this Saturday, August the 28th at the Winslow Township Family Day. The Family Day, of course, is being held at New Brooklyn Park, 100 Ariel Road, Sicklerville, New Jersey, from 2 to 8 p.m. We have 100 bags of supplies, school supplies, and we will have 100 book bags available. We will distribute them on a first come, first served basis. So we encouraging all parents to please come out. I am putting together and starting tomorrow evening, you will receive a robocall from me, encouraging people to come out to the Winslow Township Family Day and encouraging them to come out and get those school supplies, hoping it's not too late. Every little bit will help. So parents, if you haven't been out there, if you haven't purchased a book bag for your child, Saturday will be a great opportunity for you to save some money on some supplies and a book bag. School mailings. Each of the building principals mail today the packet of information that parents would normally get, which is basic information, your emergency contacts, school schedules, lunch applications, what grade your child's in, the room number, their classroom teachers. That information has been mailed today. Parents should start receiving that information tomorrow. Friday, no later than Saturday, everyone in the school district should have that information. A reminder to all parents, school uniforms are required. As we have in the past, we just want to make sure they are aware of that. And we, of course, Mrs. McClendon, we're piggybacking off the uniform exchange that has already been approved in our board report this evening. So the uniforms are required for the first day of school. Just one change, Mrs. McClendon had indicated that the next real talk with the superintendent is September. No, our next real talk with the superintendent is Monday, August 30th. I've decided to have one before the opening of school. It is already on the website to give parents an opportunity to ask me any questions, any concerns they have before the opening of school. I'm still encouraging parents based on the information you'll receive over the weekend. I want to wait to make sure you had that information. So if you have any questions about your school and information pertaining to your student, your child, please call your building principal. However, Monday, August 30th, I will make myself available by hosting a real talk with the superintendent to give everyone an opportunity to ask any questions you may have, any concerns you may have before the opening of school. So I'm encouraging you to please join me. That robocall that you will receive tomorrow about the book bags, I've also indicated in that robocall that I am hosting the Real Talk with the Superintendent on Monday, August 30th at 6:30. So we're encouraging all the parents who have questions to please join us. All right. Just for your information, board members, during our retreat, I did mention to you that we had a couple programs that were somewhat in jeopardy because of lack of staff. As of today, parents and community, the ROTC program at the high school, we do not have an instructor for that program as we speak. We are leaving it open at this point, but due to not having an instructor, the lack of enrollment, the ROTC program will not be available in September. We've been talking about this for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen, and it is my professional opinion that the ROTC program, if something doesn't happen drastically in the very, very near future, we are seeing or have seen the last of the ROTC program. It's been very, very difficult to maintain that program over the years. Instructors have come and gone in a very, very short period of time. And part of that, as we've mentioned, our program has been on probation for a number of years, particularly because of the lack of student enrollment or interest in the program. And of course, under those circumstances, many of the supervisors do not necessarily want to stay because the Department of Defense can come in and pull that program at any time. But right now, we are pretty much in jeopardy of losing that program. The other program is TV production at the middle school. I have a greater feeling that that program may survive. We do have, an individual in the pipeline, but at this point, it will not be up and running for September because we do not have an instructor as we speak. In addition to the information that was mailed out, in a separate mailing, transportation, our Department of Transportation have mailed out transportation information, which will give parents an opportunity to know what time their buses will be arriving to pick up their students, the location of the bus stop. So that information will be made available over this weekend. So you should get that information within a day or two. A reminder to all parents, breakfast and lunch are free to all students this year. I think that is a benefit to all of us. So even though it is still free to all of us, if you qualify for free and reduced lunch, we're still asking parents to fill out those forms just in case for our record keeping. And in the event at some point that program is no longer available to us for free breakfast and lunch. But right now, based on what we have in front of us, Breakfast and lunch is free to all students for the remainder of this school year for 2022. Madam President, that concludes my information items for this evening. I know it was a lot. I think the information that the parents will receive over this next few days will answer a lot of questions. However, if there's any building level issues, I'm asking parents to please call the building principals first. But if you are interested, I'm encouraging all the parents, if you still have some questions, please join me on Monday, August 30th, 6:30 for our real talk with the superintendent, and hopefully we'll be able to address some of those issues. I am looking forward for our September real talk, Mrs. McClendon, for our students, to give them an opportunity to share with us any concerns they may have so that we possibly can address those concerns of our young people. That again, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my information items for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Poteet. Is there any questions for Dr. Poteet?
Yes, I
Yes,
have
I
some
have a
questions.
question. Oh,
Go ahead, Ms.
and Mr.
McClendon.
Blake.
No,
Not
go ahead, Ms.
everybody at one
McClendon.
time. Not
Ladies
everybody
first.
at one time. Yes, Mr.
So,
Clinton.
Dr. Poteet, with the ROTC program, do we have a time frame as to when we may lose the program altogether? Like, is there ETA when we need to get this filled?
No, we don't have a time frame at this point, but
Okay.
as I stated, we've been living on borrowed time for quite some time.
Right.
The Department of Defense had put us on probation several years ago. And I think at this point, because the numbers continue to dwindle down, I think we may have had 20, and that may be exaggerated, students who were interested in the program. But our main issue at this point, when they post those positions, the individuals know that that program is on probation. So, and probation basically means that at some point, if the things don't improve in terms of enrollment, et cetera, there's a possibility they would pull the program. So I don't think it's an appealing position for someone when they know they can go somewhere else where a program is not on probation, where they can establish, some longevity. So we don't have a lot going in our favor when it comes to the program. So a timeline, I don't know, because we've been on probation for quite some time. So at this point, I guess we will have to communicate with them and let them know that we don't have an instructor and the minimal number of students. And I think they will make that final decision, Ms. McClendon, but when, I don't know.
Okay. And one more question before about the ROTC. So if we do lose the program, how difficult would it be if we had a need to start it back up again? Would it be something we would have to go through a whole process all over again? Like what would that look like?
I think we would probably have to. Now, the ROTC program has been in place for a number of years. As a matter of fact, it was in place prior to me arriving, and many high schools do have ROTC programs. I think it would be a matter of going back through the application process, going through, and I think you're going to have proof that the program can be sustained. And I think in order for us to go back through that process, one of the key factors would be how many students you have enrolled or will enroll in the program before we, continue to invest in it. And right now, Mrs. McClendon, we are so far off the mark of enrollment because with our student population, they usually ask that you have 50% of your student population. We are always hovering around 1,500. So we're talking about 150 students, and we're nowhere near that number. So at this point, I don't have the answers, Mrs. McClendon, but I do know that we are not on stable ground when it comes to ROTC.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Blake?
I just had two questions. One about the bus drivers. I know you had said that students must wear masks at the bus stop, but if they don't have it, is there a way that the bus drivers can have mask on hand? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you might forget, or they may not just have it at all.
And
so
we gonna have a solution for that. For example, all bus drivers will have masks on the bus.
Okay.
But here's the issue. I need to make it very clear. I'm not gonna give you a mask every day, Mr. Blake. See, you can't forget your mask every day. So the bus drivers will be reporting to the schools when they arrive which students did not have a mask that day. The administrative staff will be calling those parents and letting those parents know that Major Poteet showed up at the bus stop today without a mask, and we need to address that problem because we have but so many masks. We're not going to be able to give students a mask every day. I'm asking the parents to please work with us because once we get to a point, particularly the older students, the high school students, then you won't be able to get on the bus. It's not just a violation. We talk about a health and safety issue. So take, for example, if the bus driver ran out of mask, or this is your third or fourth time, and the bus driver said, I'm sorry, son, you can't get on the bus. Then putting an unmasked person on that bus jeopardizes the health and safety of the bus driver and all the students on that bus. So I'm asking us from the very beginning, let's get on the same page because we're talking about a virus we can't see, but we're also talking about a virus that is deadly. As I indicated today, 19 of the 150 positive cases were under the age of 18. And at this point, the children or young people cases are rising so quickly with this virus. So yes, we're going to get to the point where it becomes an issue. And if you can't wear a mask, then you can't come to school. Now, we're not talking about little teeny people, but we will have the same process in place for our little people where we'll call the parents and let's see if we can work out something to make sure that they are placed in a situation where it's a healthy and safe environment for everybody. So we're not going to go through giving masks away all day, every month. We just can't do it. And I think it's just a matter of anything else that we do in terms of rules and regulations. Mr. Blake, but this is more of a health issue, definitely. And the mandate is you must have on a mask. At the high school or any school, for people who drive or the parents drop them off, you don't have the mask, we're not letting you in. You know, we can't jeopardize the health and safety of everybody. Then you wait outside at the door, somebody may bring you a mask or put you in our holding room, call the parents, because one, Mr. Blake, and the reason I'm spending this much time on it because it's important and I want to explain this to the parents. It's either you're going to wear a mask or you aren't. And we are not going to argue. We're not going to make this an issue where we're arguing with people every day about wearing a mask. You must wear a mask. It's a mandate and it's a health issue. So we just want people to know, because every parent that I've spoken to in the past 2-3 weeks, last week being excluded, the health and safety issue was the primary concern. And they wanted to make sure that students were going to be in a mask. And a lot of those concerns that they raised about the fear of the safety and making sure everybody's in compliance, I'm assuring them that we're going to be in compliance and we want to make sure that that classroom and that building is safe because everybody at a minimum is wearing a mask.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm just like piggybacking off of that. Like, I know like today was really hot. I know a lot of our buildings are not fully air conditioned. What is the plan for those youngsters who are in those hot classrooms and staff members? Like, do we have portable fans for them? I mean, I just can't imagine students learning under those conditions like today. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some hot days in September. And I'm just a little concerned about what would that look like? What's the plan? That's what I want to know.
Well, Mr. Blake, I wish I had all the answers, and I'm not going to even try to make it sound like that we have this plan in place that's going to address all the hot issues and the classroom environments, etc. No, we do not have classroom fans for every. Classroom fans are illegal. The fire marshal told us before the pandemic, years ago, that you cannot have fans. Now, if there were window fans installed, that's something acceptable, that's something different. So at this point, I'm not sure how that's going to play itself out. But you cannot start removing masks under those conditions, because if you start removing your mask under those conditions, then you're still putting everybody's health at risk. So yes, early morning. And last year, if you can recall, we had some heat index situations where I had to call early dismissals for our students and staff. If it comes down to that, then I won't hesitate to make that decision. But for me to be able to say that, yes, I have a plan in place for every hot day, and that youngsters and teachers will not have to wear their masks under those conditions, that's not the case. I will not tell people they cannot wear their mask under any circumstances, because once you do that, you put everybody's health at risk. Now, the CDC, the New Jersey Department of Education, and every piece of documentation I received and read and passed on, teachers may open their windows. Teachers may open their doors to improve circulation. And all these are tidbits that they're saying that will help air circulation. So yes, we're encouraging the teachers to open their windows. We're encouraging them to open their doors so we can improve circulation. But anything beyond that, and all of us know that those buildings are not air conditioned. Anything beyond that, Mr. Blake, I don't have an answer for you. But I will not say that you don't have to wear your mask because of the heat in your buildings, whatever. If it's that bad and I know it in advance, I will not hesitate to call an early dismissal or whatever needs to be done for the health and safety. But removing masks is not an option.
Oh, well, yeah, Dr. Poteet, I'm definitely like pro mask. Like, I'm wearing a mask in the house. So like that really was the issue. I just want to make sure that, if they get hot, like what's the plan? That's all. But thank you for explaining.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Dr. Poteet?
I have a I'm laughing. You gonna wear a mask in the house, Mr. Blake? A question, and it's probably more geared. I don't know if but Ms. Boyle is kind of looks like she's out again, network problems. But Dr. Poteet, any update on the pandemic EBT cards? I know the last thing we were talking back and forth with the powers to be regarding that.
I have not dealt with that directly, and Mrs. Bull would probably have more current information. All I know at this point is one of the reasons we were not eligible for those cards is that you had to miss the delivery of services or food services for a period of time for some of those individuals to qualify. We never missed a day of providing food for our children in this community. So that exempted a lot of people. Anything beyond that, Mrs. McClendon, I don't have the answer for. And if Mrs. Bull is able to log back in, we can go back to her for a more current, updated response. But I don't have any answer for that.
Dr. Poteet, I'm in. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mrs. Bull.
Ms. McClendon, it cut out right as you were asking your question.
I was asking about if we had any update on the pandemic EBT card situation, and Dr.
Yes,
Poteet was trying to explain some of it.
Okay, there was information uploaded for September through February. That information was uploaded during the August 10th. So Mr. Scott is currently working on March, April, May, and June to have that information uploaded. And it was also approved during the summer, so it's a separate spreadsheet. The next upload and final upload is September 10th, and they haven't given us any other date. So at this point, that's the drop dead date. I had a couple of parents call, and they were asking me a question about the cards. Unfortunately, you go so far with the Department of Agriculture, and you can go so far with the school district, and I tried to explain. We did submit the information, but I can't tell you when the cards are coming or if they're uploading the prior year. If you had a card the prior year, if new cards are coming out. I did ask those parents to give me a call when they found out whether it was uploaded. I haven't heard anything, so I was going to just call them back. I did verify that their students were listed in the initial upload.
Okay, so parents that are eligible for it should receive something, but we don't know exactly when, but the uploads have been done, at least 2 of them.
The upload that for information through February has been submitted. The final months of that year, because at that point, we went either hybrid, and Mr. Scott's got to determine whether the students were hybrid or fully remote because the reimbursement rate differs. So he's got to confirm with the schools. He did send the information out. It's coming back. I think he said he had March and April, and he was finishing up the information through June, and then he says July and August will be easy. So he's uploading the information. They won't take it. The Department of Agriculture only pulled it 3 times. It was July 10th, and our information wasn't there. August 10th, and then we had a workshop, and they said September 10th is the date. That's it. So we are getting the information in. But when the cards are going to be filled or distributed or sent back out, that's the part we don't know.
Okay. Ms. Boyle, I
Yes.
just want to make sure I'm clear. So what is the time frame of the coverage for the cards? Because I know you mentioned March through June, then you said something about February. So what is the time frame?
Okay, so assuming the students were here all year, the benefit is September through June.
Okay.
All right, if you were fully remote the whole time, that's easy. And everybody was fully remote up through February because we didn't offer a hybrid until March. So then in March, at this point, we have students that may qualify, but Mr. Scott and the principals have to determine, were they fully remote or were they hybrid? If they were partially, let's say they switched in the middle of the month, they have to determine based on the number of days whether they get counted as hybrid or fully remote. So it's a little more complicated with the second round. And then what did I say? July and August is easy because there was no school. So
Right. Okay. So September of 2020 up to June of 21 is what was
Correct.
already okay.
So
All right.
what was submitted already that I know and should have been picked up in the upload of August 10th is September through February. So I don't know when the Department of Agriculture will actually either send cards, or I don't know if they're reloading cards that were in place last year. That's what I don't know. And that's what I was explaining to the parents. I said, I can look on the spreadsheet to see if your children were there, and they were. I said, but I don't know when the disbursement will be made. They were concerned that maybe they would miss a couple of months. And I said, no, let's say Mr. Scott found out right now that a child was missing, so a parent said something, he can go back and enter them from September up to, up through the time that they're qualified for.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. That kind of definitely explains, because I know there's been some questions about it, and so I'm sure that, like you said, your office has been receiving questions as far as are we getting them, are we receiving it? It's just a matter of just being patient until everything is uploaded in the system.
Mrs. McCundy, one of the things that is very clear is that once the school district do their part in submitting the information, we have no control over the timeline as to when the Department of Agriculture is going to respond.
Right, understood.
Right, we have no control. But one other item I wanted to mention that I didn't for you and Mr. Blake, Saturday, we will be handing out masks. We have in those packets, packets of 10 masks in each little pack. So we'll be distributing masks on Saturday as a part of our giveaways. So one of the things we want to put ourselves in a position is to let everyone know that we're going to provide as many masks as we possibly can, and that there should not be a reason for anyone not to have a mask. We gave everyone at least 2 masks last year. So they're there, they're available, and if parents, of course, choose to send their child to school with an approved mask, we allowed that last year. We'll continue to allow that this year. But again, I think for us, the most important thing, and I can't emphasize it more, everyone must have a mask upon entering our buildings and upon boarding one of our buses. And we just don't want our bus drivers to be in a situation where it becomes an issue, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have just enough bus drivers right now. And across the country, bus drivers are very, very few and in between, and we can't afford to lose one bus driver. As a matter of fact, some young people may go to school on one bus and go back home on another bus, because we're going to do what we can to make sure children get to school and get home from school. But we're going to be doubling up in some cases when we have to, which means in that case, social distancing is marginal and you must have on a mask. So, ladies and gentlemen, last year we talked about health and safety being our main priority. We've stepped that up even more this year because the virus is more contagious this year. So everything we can do to keep everyone safe, we're going to do it. And that's non-negotiable, ladies and gentlemen. We just cannot negotiate with the health and safety of these young people, our staff, and our support staff. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do have an informational item.
Okay.
This past Sunday, Mr. Blake and I had the opportunity to attend Building Up the Youth, their first short walk for long haul event. It was held over at New Brooklyn Park. It was definitely great to see a lot of our young people out there. The purpose of that was just to also for parents, community residents, to come out and just remind our youth that we are in it with them for the long haul, meaning today, tomorrow, and always, supporting them. And so they had a lot of activities. First, they had book bags to give out to every child that was present. They had a barbecue going on. They had games. A live DJ was out there. And so at one point, everyone walked to the Star Building. And then from there, it was like a short walk, but then come back. But there was a lot of things going on so that the kids can be entertained. And, it was just a great day for the youth to be out. And one thing I like to do is commend Ernest Brown and Nikki Thompson. Those are the two that actually run that program. And, anytime you see people taking interest in our youth, need to be commended, because it definitely takes a lot of your time and effort, and also, compassion and love to be able to nurture other children that are not of yours, right? And so anytime we see a lot of our organizations within our community doing things to help benefit and empower our youth, I applaud them on that. The Sun Times newspaper also came out to cover the event, so it was great to see, something good going on Winslow and now being covered by the media. And of course, Dr. Pote, I was trying to get them to come to homecoming, right? I was trying to work that in to get some coverage, and I'm still going to work that. But I definitely want to take this time out to highlight Building Up the Youth for a job well done, and continue to foster our young people, because it's definitely needed within every community. But continue to take the time out to try to fill those needs. We always say, see a need, fill a need. And so I just wanted to mention, I don't know, Mr. Blake, if there's anything you want to add to it on Sunday, but it was definitely a great, well turned out event, even though we weren't sure if the weather was going to cooperate, but it did. And so there were a lot of young people that were out there and received book bags.
Thank you. Just a reminder, board members, if you have not signed up to serve as a host at the Winslow Township District table this Saturday, please do so as soon as possible. If you have any of those edible items or for our table or items for our book bags, please let me know. I'm willing to meet you tomorrow night so we have them, or I will be there and Mrs. Thomas at 9:30 in the morning. So we're counting on each board member to step up and sign up for a time. So thank you. Also, for the Equity Committee, I didn't call it, but New Jersey Department of Education has on their website information about educational equity. The Center for Educational Equity has a lot of information, and also the National Summit for Educational Equity has several events coming up during the month of October 2022. And it's not October, it's in the spring. So please, I'm on that committee. Mr. Blake is chairing and Ms. Thomas. If we can get together and talk about that, that would be great. Thank you so much. Any other informational items?
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
I don't know if Ms. McClendon realizes it, but today they officially announced all the county teachers of the year. And Ms. McClendon and I were on that committee that judged for the Camden County Teacher of the Year. So I just want to put it out there to all of our educators in our district to make sure next year that they apply for that, because this year's County Teacher of the Year came from the LEAP Charter School in Camden. So, and I know there were a few teachers that did put in for it from Winslow, but definitely Winslow educators, please put in for it because we have tons of educators in our district that are worthy of the Camden County Teacher of the Year.
Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully you will be reminding us again at our board meetings to remind our teachers to put in for that award. So thank you. Okay. No further informational items. Public comments. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We believe in the rights of citizens to observe board meetings, to ensure that all of our citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comments, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that speakers follow the guidelines for making public comments. The board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience via telephone who wish to make comments. Please respect the following procedures. 1, all members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. 2, state your full name and address. 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. 4, submit your questions to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable time. And 5, individuals offering citizens' comments are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, or other testifiers or members of the public. I entertain a motion to enter into public comments.
McClendon moved that we enter into public comments.
Shaw second.
It's been properly moved in second to enter into public comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion has carried. Thank you. Mrs. McCoy?
Yes, we have one person. I'm going to try to admit them.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Coley. You joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Ed, a public comment meeting. If you would state your name and spell it, please, and your address, and then you can make your comment to the board. Okay. Caller, can you hear us?
May the call, we believe the caller may be muted.
Does not appear that way.
I'm here.
Okay. Caller, can you please state and spell your name and then give us your address, then you can make your comment to the board.
Angela Cooper. You ready for the address?
Yes, Ms. Cooper.
I'm at 10 Hathaway in Circleville.
All right, if you'd like to make your comment, you may go ahead.
My comment is regarding the school uniforms this year. I have placed a little venting session on Winslow Township, the parents' Facebook page, just stating that this year has been one of the toughest years to find uniforms. I just had to wing it and order pants for my daughter, but I was on the verge, and I'm still maybe on the verge of sending her in regular, not her, but my other child too, in regular clothes because I cannot find anything. I get the reasoning behind it because I've always backed it. It decreases bullying, but at this point, I'm at wit's end with it.
Caller, this is Dr. Poteet. The only thing I can say at this point is if you would take advantage of the uniform swap that we're having here in the school district, maybe if you participate, there may be something there that you see that may fit one of your children, if not both of them. Look at that as an option. I'm not aware of some of the issues parents may be having in finding uniforms. So at this point, I would just say, take an opportunity to see what's available during the uniform swap, and then we'll just take it from there. All right?
Okay. Is there information posted about the uniform swap? And I don't know if anyone on the call follows the page or anything, but there were quite a few parents, and there is still one actually that just posted that she was still out scrambling. I have been to every city, town, and state looking for uniforms, and it's crazy. But if I can get the information for the uniform swap, I would appreciate that.
Yes. Right now, it is on this board report, or if you would just call your building principal, they will be able to provide that information for you. Hold on a second. Let me just look at, because I turned my page here.
Dr. Poteet, I can add to that if you like.
Okay, the date, it's September the 10th and the 11th. From Friday the 10th is from 6 to 9. And on the 11th, it's from 9 to 12. It will be held at the middle school cafeteria. Ms. McClendon?
Okay.
Yeah, and so, Ms. Cooper, I just wanted to add something. So I definitely understand your pain because I was having the same issue. I do have a daughter in the district who is a 10th grader. So as they get bigger, it has become harder to find uniforms. And I've been out the last few days looking, and finally I did find something at Hollister in Cherry Hill. I'm not sure what your financial situation is, but as Dr. Poteet mentioned, We will have the uniform swap to be able to help accommodate because it has been a little difficult to find at least pants. Shirts, you may be
Right.
able to find those, but when it comes down to pants, it has been
So
an
hard.
issue. But we're trying to
Yeah.
provide those resources to assist parents. And I don't know if you've ever attended one of the uniform swaps, but a lot of times clothing may be new. Parents, may have purchased clothing and kids can't wear them. So it is a benefit to attend that. So that Friday night will more be of the sorting of the clothing for the HSA. But then that Saturday will be the day where it will be open to parents coming to see if they can find clothing in their child sizes. So more information will be sent out regarding that. Just, you're on that page, Winslow page, so it will be posted. But I definitely understand and feel your pain because I was that parent scratching my head. And finally, I found something in Hollister. So if you're able to go there to Cherry Hill Mall in that store,
Yes.
because they have them in the store there. And you can also order online at the store, free shipping delivered to your house.
So
if they don't have it.
Yes,
Okay.
I did end up getting the pants for my one daughter because I have a middle schooler, but she's built like a woman. She's like an adult. So that's where it gets harder at the bigger they get. You know what I mean? One parent did mention on the post that I had posted, it's like, the older they get, maybe when they get in high school, it should be like business casual or something like that. Just something that'll make it just a little bit easier because like you said, it does get harder once they are getting bigger. I've seen a lot of boy pants, and I'm not even gonna lie, that was my last resort. I was like, I'm about to just buy the boy pants, and she's just gonna have to wing it because I couldn't find anything. But I will definitely take advantage of the uniform swap. I appreciate that.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. If you're done, you
Thank
can
you.
hang up. Mm-hmm.
So Mrs.
Well, welcome, caller. You've joined the public comment section of the board meeting. If you could please state and spell your name and then give us your address, then you can make your comment to the board.
Cindy Skurnick, Skurnik, 50 Brearley Drive, Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Ms. Skurnick, if you'd like to make your comment.
My question is, I know that Governor Murphy took virtual learning off the table, but I didn't know what the plan was for when children need to be quarantined. I was listening to the news in the schools in the South. A week after schools opened up in Florida, there was like 900 children in one school district that needed to be put out on quarantine. I think they said it was like North Carolina or Georgia, where 10,000 students in the state were home on quarantine 2 or 3 weeks after schools opened up. So I just was trying to figure out what the plan was for when students are sent home or have to stay home on quarantine.
We do have a plan in place. And I am, of course, aware of what's happening in other states. One of the benefits of New Jersey is that we do have a higher number of adults who are vaccinated. But this is what we plan. First of all, we want each building principal to try to address that on an individual basis, a case by case. We have options of doing homebound instruction. We have an option possibly doing some virtual instruction. We can do after school. It depends on the situation and what we're able to work out with parents. One of the reasons and what we're seeing an influx of young people coming back because parents are now going to work and youngsters have to be in school. And we, of course, want to embrace the face-to-face instruction. But we do have a couple options available to us. And we've asked our building principals, we're not going to try to do one thing to fit all situations across the district because that may not be the case. So we're going to try to do some homebound. We're going to try to do some virtual. We may even have, depending on the grade level, send work home, depending on the length of the stay. However, I do want to let parents know that in the event we have a breakout in one of our schools, if not the entire school district, we are prepared to go full virtual again, full remote, excuse me, again, if we have to. But we'll, of course, hope and pray that that's not the case. But we do have a plan in place to address our young people who are home for whatever reasons, and hopefully we'll be able to accommodate those individuals. So it's either a case-by-case basis, and of course we know that one case doesn't necessarily fit all. So we're going to try to be as flexible as we can to provide education for our students. Hello?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure you were still there.
Yep, thanks.
Okay.
Mrs. McCoy, is there anyone else on the line?
Mrs. McCoy, Mrs. Boyle, you're muted.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Currently, Madam Vice President, there's nobody waiting.
Okay, thank you. While we give it 2 more minutes, 2 or 3 more minutes, Ms. McClendon, maybe we can get together and whoever else and see if we can do some research so we can upload possible locations to find uniforms for the older students.
Pickings are very slim.
You can do it. So
But I just wanted
at one point, I'm sorry, Ms. Moore. I was saying at one point I was thinking, listen, we need to create our own uniform store and partner with somebody so that we'll have uniforms readily available for Winslow students. I mean, that's how crazy it is at this time of finding clothing. And if you do find something, you're going to pay for it, an arm and a leg, right? And so maybe that's something, I don't know. Dr. Poteet, did you ever give thought of partnering with a store that will hold our uniforms on for our students? I mean, is that something that is even...
I have not given that any thought, but as you know, a school district, we would have to go through the bidding process.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you would have to put it out there and, you know, at some point select a district based on whatever the RFP is, and then something. I mean, that's a consideration, but no, I've never thought about it. But I do know that there's a process that we would have to follow if we wanted to go in that direction.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that I know several people who work in retail, and they have been having a hard time getting any kind of products, not just clothing. So it's difficult. It's not just us. It's difficult across the board. So I don't know what the answer is. I know Hollister is expensive, and a lot of parents are not going to shop there. We probably need to remind parents that they can put in for reimbursement. We get very few of them, but maybe we'll get more this year. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that they're going to need clothing for their children for school to start before we get to the uniform spot. So, and there's no guarantees that there will be anything there for them. So if anybody has information they can share, please do so, because it's tough out there.
I do have a question. This is a general question. Is it for the girls? Is it difficult, or for boys and girls? Because I haven't really heard anything about guys having a hard time finding uniform
I think
pants.
it's mainly for the females.
For the females?
Girls.
Okay.
Right. And so pickings are a few. And then, you know, when you get to the high school level, of course, your daughters, they have their own.
No.
They don't want to wear the wide leg pants at the bottom. They don't want the mom pants, like, and I can understand, Mr. Long, you laughing, but seriously, like they got the big bell bottom pants, and it's like I'm pulling my hair, right? And so, Miss Boyle, can I get a refund on my clothes? Like, can I put
There's
in
an income. There's an income
can I put a ticket in?
basis.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Ms. McClendon, I have 3 sewing machines. You can borrow one and make the alterations.
Okay. I'm sorry, board. One point of clarification, we don't have a uniform. It's a uniform look. That's why they can go to any stores. But I do understand supplies of everything are in short order. And we do have 3 participants now waiting in the room.
Okay, if we can
Okay.
take those 3.
Okay. Good evening, caller. You've joined the public comment section of the board meeting. If you would please state and spell your name and then provide your address.
My name is
You
Kayla
might
Kelly
wanna mute.
Henderson. I'm
Ms.
sorry, what did you
Henderson,
say?
can you repeat?
Kayla Kelly Henderson. Kailah.
Ms. Henderson, if you'd like to give your address and then make your comment.
15 Pittman Lane.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
my comment is, I'm sorry, the address?
No, you can go ahead and make your comment to the board.
Okay. So my thing is, I'm actually a student at Winslow, and I was just noticing how everyone was complaining about the uniforms, like how it is hard to buy girl uniforms, because it is. And I just wanted to bring the idea that maybe we could suspend them for just this school year, because not only are they really expensive, but you have to buy school uniforms, then you have to buy regular clothes. And for like low income people, that could be like really difficult even with the uniform swap. And if the schools get shut down again, then all the parents would have bought the uniforms for no reason, and it would just be a big hit and waste of money.
Ms. Henderson, this is Dr. Poteet, and I understand what you're saying. It's good that we have parents on the school board because they can address this issue more personally than myself. I'm hearing it, of course, tonight for the first time because honestly, I'm not aware of some of the issues that the parents as well as students are having in purchasing uniforms. So I think what we need to do is sort of play it by ear and try to work with our community. And I don't know what I don't know what the answer is tonight. And I don't want to tell you or recommend to the board one thing or another at this point. But I think we need to just continue to listen to the concerns of the parents about the uniforms. And at some point, maybe the board will have to make a decision based on supply and demand. We are dealing with that in other entities and trying to get items. So we do know there's an issue, but I was not aware of the issue until tonight about uniforms. So we'll just have to take the recommendations under consideration, and at some point, the district will have to make a decision. Ms.
Okay,
Henderson?
but also just to let you know that there, I'm not sure if they've gone through, but there have been emails for the idea of what I just brought up. But also there have been petitions, and they've gotten a lot of attention from the parents and students that go to Winslow. And there's like over 1,000 views and shares and signatures for it, just in case you wanted to know.
Yeah, Mrs. Henderson, but see, the only disadvantage is that is a website that may be occurring in the community, and it's not something that is accessible by the school district itself. So maybe some of my board members may be aware of that particular website where that is happening, but where I sit, I'm not aware of it. So again, tonight you're sharing with me something I was not aware of and didn't even know that it was even occurring. So I appreciate you calling in and letting us know that.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, caller. Okay. Good evening, caller. You joined the public comment section of the board meeting. If you would like to state and then spell your name and then give us your address, then you can make your comment to the board.
Sure. My name is Valerie Devers, and it's VALERYDEVER, and I'm at 1 Duke Drive in Sicklerville.
Ms. Dever, if you'd make your comment.
Sure. I just had a question. I have 2 kindergartners and 1 child going into the preschool at the school, and I know at preschool they take a nap. And I was wondering what was going to be done at that time to keep the little ones safe, because, I would assume that they are not going to take a nap with a mask on. So I don't know if they're going to be kept a certain amount of feet apart, or if they're just going to forego nap time this year, or what was going to happen to keep them safe at that time.
We are going to maintain our curriculum as best we possibly can under the normal circumstances. So we're not modifying away from what we would normally do. We will be social distancing as much as we possibly can to keep the young people safe. I would have to defer to Dr. Carcamo about the sleeping arrangements and masking at this point, because I'm not necessarily aware of how that will happen with the napping. But our program, just so that you know, our program will remain the same, and everything we've done previously, we're going to be doing this year also. So Dr. Carcamo, if you are available, do you have any idea how the napping will take place and whether or not those little people will have to, wear a mask? And unfortunately, Dr. Carcamo, I'm not putting you on the spot. I just don't know the answer to that particular question.
So Dr. Petit, our curriculum will not change. As you said, the NAP is a required part of the preschool program.
Right.
So during the preschool class, when the students are down for a nap, we will try to position the cots that the students take their naps on so that they're not facing each other and in the opposite direction. That would be the only way that students would be permitted not to wear a mask at that time. But we have not been given any specific guidelines with regard to the use of masks during nap time.
Right. And unfortunately, one of the things we have been waiting for, particularly myself, is whether or not the New Jersey Department of Health will be providing us with specific guidelines for unique situations. And at this point, they're in the process of revising their guidelines. So at this point, we are going to do what we believe is safe based on the information we have now and the information we were provided last year up until now, without any new revisions at this point. So thank you, Dr. Carcamo. But again, we want to re-emphasize the fact that we're going to maintain our curriculum for our little people all the way up through 12th grade as we normally would, because we don't want to deviate from our curriculum to the point where we believe that we're not meeting our academic goals for our young people.
Dr. Petit, I'd like to add that the cots for the little ones are arranged so that they're head to toe. And
Okay.
we will move as much of the furniture in the classroom as possible so that we are able to space the students out.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Carcamo. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Caller, do you have any other questions?
No, that was it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Is there any other callers?
Yes, Madam Vice President, 2 others. And now I don't see them. And now I'm down. They're not there at the moment, but there were 2 30 seconds ago. So we may want to give them a moment to join back in. Callers, if you were just on the line, if you dial back,
Someone has just joined in, Mrs. Boyd.
somebody just joined in.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
caller, if you'd like to give your name and spell it and your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Certainly, my name is Tina Marshall, TinaMarshall. My address is 9 Celia Street in Sicklerville.
Ms. Marshall, if you make your comment.
Certainly. I have 2 actually. I wanted to discuss the uniforms as well. I have a daughter going into the high school as well as my granddaughter who is going into preschool, and it is impossible to get these girls uniforms. Very difficult. I've been to every store you can possibly think of, and there's nothing out there for girls, especially young women who are going from middle school to high school, and are not necessarily in their in-between sizes. And I think that, listening to the other callers, I think the board, kind of needs to hear the parents and the money issues. And while everybody can submit for reimbursal, I don't see the district being able to reimburse parents for spending double on clothes to go to these, big expensive stores, and they can only afford to buy 1 pair of pants or 1 shirt if they can even find anything that fits. Waiting until a week before school to make a decision. So what happens? I can't find anything for my daughters, and I have to send them to school in regular clothes, and they get sent home. I mean, there's gotta be some give and take here. And also, another question that I had was about the masks. What is going to be going on with the hot weather that we're getting and masks in air-conditioned areas? That's a concern.
Paula, the first question you asked in reference to the uniforms and the timeliness of a decision, for me, this is the first time I'm hearing of the difficulty in purchasing. As I said to one of the other callers who had a lot of information based on another website, that's information that the school district doesn't have access to. So the reason the decision has not been made one way or the other is because we're just having that information brought to our attention tonight. So, I don't think we're in a position to make a decision right now. However, we will take the information on advisement, and as you said, the parents, we will listen to the parents, and at some point you have to make a decision. But the timeliness of it is because it's been brought to our attention today. As far as the mask is concerned in hot weather, I've tried to respond to that situation as best I could earlier, and that is allowing our teachers to have windows open as much as possible, depending on weather. Doors can be open, and that's pretty much it. If it's a situation where I know in advance where the heat index is going to be a certain temperature, then I don't have a problem having early dismissal for our children. But I am not in a position to say to you or the public or the board tonight that under those conditions, young people or staff will not have to wear masks. because that will not be the case, because then you are putting yourself, the staff, all the students in a situation where now you're in an unhealthy environment. So I wish I had a solution for that inclement type of weather, but I don't. And at this point, we will do the best we can, and hopefully, if we know well in advance, we can make some decisions to get those young people and staff out of there as quickly as we can. But right now, the mandate for masking must maintain. It must stay in place. Caller?
I'm sorry. I can't hear anything. It just went completely blank.
Oh, okay. Do you have any other questions for us?
The only thing that I would like to know is, will you be shutting off the air conditioning in the administrative buildings and have the entire staff wearing masks the entire day, just like the students will be?
Well, I don't know if you're serious or being facetious, but I will not turn off air conditioning in any of our buildings. Some of our buildings are partially air conditioned in certain areas throughout the district. There's air conditioning in our cafeterias. There's air conditioning in our gymnasiums. There's some classrooms with air conditioning. So no, I will not be turning off the air conditioning, and I will not be turning the air conditioning off in the administration building. So no, I will not be doing that at all.
Thank you, caller, for calling in. You will have an opportunity, if you have further questions of Dr. Poteet, to speak with him on Monday. And that time is at what time, Dr. Poteet?
6:30 Monday, real talk with the superintendent, and we will try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. And board members and members of the public, I wish I had an answer for every question. And unfortunately, I will not be able to answer all questions to each individual satisfaction. But I will be honest and transparent and respond according to what I know and what I can control. But we will do the very best we can on behalf of our staff and students.
Thank you. And caller, I just had, it was 4 minutes, and I just want to let you know that there was an opportunity on Monday to speak. And hopefully we can, I know I'm going to start researching which areas have that information and share with the district and the board if there's other locations to purchase clothes in. So I will do that. I'll give you my commitment. I will start that tomorrow. Is there another caller?
No, yes, there is. But Madam Vice President, I wanted to share that Ms. Chico, would you like to speak up?
Yes, I was just saying that as Amazon does have a clothing section, and I've found clothes and I thought that they were reasonably priced. They have khakis and they can have categories for girls for 14 to 16, 12 to 10, and sometimes you can get them in like 1 to 2 days, and you can, if they don't fit, you can send them back pretty quickly. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention.
To the public. Thank you.
Or to the public, yeah.
You had something too, didn't you, Ms. Martin?
Yes. She did. She put in that to check out the executive apparel, and that phone number is 215-464-5400. So we have two, and then we'll share that information.
Before you go on, I just wanted to tell you, because I don't want people getting their hopes up. So I've been involved in the uniform swap since it started, and I can tell you that the clothing that we normally get for the larger sizes is very limited. So we don't want parents like banking on coming and finding the clothing there for their children, that 2 weeks from now. So we definitely need some other options.
And that's what I'm talking about. They can purchase them with the sizes that they need. The swap is one, but then we'll have a second alternative that hopefully we'll find some places. There's a place in the northeast of Philadelphia, and I can't remember, but I know I have it at home somewhere that I can put my hands on where you can go. Is there another caller?
Yes, we have 2 more callers, Madam Vice President.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get them in. Good evening, caller. If you join the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education, if you would state and spell your name and then provide your address, then you can make your comment to the board.
Sure. My name is Brielle Morris. It's Brielle. The last name is Morris.
Thank you,
And
Ms.
my
Morris.
address is, sure. My address is 54 Brearley Drive. That's B as in boy, REARLY Drive.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. If you'd like to make your comment.
Sure. My son, his name is Liam, and he is going into 4th grade. He'll be starting at school 6. And last year he was fully virtual for the entire school year. So I was wondering why there is no orientation day or anything like an orientation day for the incoming students. Last year it was very difficult for them. They were virtual all year, so returning to in-person brick and mortar instruction this year is going to be a difficult transition in itself. So to be starting at a brand new school, it would really ease some of their fears to be able to have even just some sort of meet the teacher, even if it were optional, and parents could drive them to the school just for an hour or two, the day before school starts, just so they have an idea where they're going. And it's not so intimidating for them on the first day when it's not only just 4th graders, but also 4th and 5th and 6th graders, because it is very intimidating for, these kids are only 9 years old. And I think an orientation day or something like that would be very, very beneficial for them.
Caller, this is Dr. Poteet. Why don't you call school 6 principal, Mr. Jackson, and, see if he can't work out something for you at this point. So reach out to the building principal and have a conversation with him and see if there's something that can be worked out.
Okay, I will take you up on that. However, I have reached out to the principal at my son's old school, School 3, several times in his 4 years there, and I've never once received a response. So I don't have all that much faith in the principal's ability to respond to their emails and phone calls, and I'm just a little apprehensive with school starting next week. So you're telling me that the principal would be able to provide my son an opportunity to come in and kind of, walk around the building so he has an idea where he's going?
Yes, I am saying that. I'm saying if you call the building principal, Mr. Jackson, will get back in touch with you. And unfortunately, had you brought to our attention 2-3 years ago that you made a phone call to School 3 and didn't get a return call, we would have did something about that or addressed that situation for you.
Oh, I did. I actually forwarded the emails to you, Dr. Poteet. I forwarded them to you, and I CC'd both principals twice, actually. Sorry.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but we can agree to disagree. But at this point, moving forward, because the only thing I can control is what we're doing in front of us, not what happened behind us. And that is call Mr. Jackson and speak with Mr. Jackson and see if there's something you can work out. And what is your name again, caller? I'm sorry.
Brielle Morris.
Okay, Mrs. Morris. Call Mr. Jackson tomorrow and see if there's something you can work out. Okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that final caller is no longer in the waiting room.
Okay,
So
thank
there's
you.
nobody.
Thank you. I entertain a motion for adjournment of public comments.
McClendon moved that we adjourn public comments.
Shaw, second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn public comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I hear everyone? All those opposed? Okay. Thank you. The motion has carried. Mr. Long, executive session.
Madam Vice President, I have nothing this evening. I'll defer to Dr. Potiter, Mr. Davis. I'm not aware of anything.
No, Mr. Long, we do not have any items for executive session this evening.
Seeing that there are no, I entertain a motion to dispense with executive session because there is no information available for us to discuss.
No actions needed, Madam Vice President.
Okay.
We can skip to the next item.
I entertain a motion for adjournment.
McClendon moved that we adjourn.
Shaw, second.
It's been properly moved to second that we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you so much. Everyone have a good night. I will see you on Saturday. I appreciate all your support tonight. And thank you once again for your dedication to the board and your assistance. To those that are in the audience, we thank you for coming. And we stand excited about the upcoming 2021-22 school year. So thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Shaw, take that cowboy stuff down too while you're at it.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, you're messing with me. Take care.